You're watching Toronto Sports Rush on the Bet Rivers Network.
It's McGuire Monday. One of us is in Canada, one of us is in Ireland. It's for you to decide who's where. I'm Dan. That's Pierre. Pierre, the Toronto Maple Leafs. They are, it's very strange to say, they are last in the Eastern Conference. They are the last place team in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, so there are a few things. One, I want to apologize to our viewers and listeners. I thought the Toronto Maple Leafs would take a step forward this year with their roster rebuild and the new DNA that the general manager, Brad Treliving, promised. I got that wrong so far. I was really disappointed in their game Saturday night, and I'm sure they're going to spin control and say, well, we did this right, and we did that right, and we did this right. I saw a team that was soft. I saw a team that was disinterested. And I saw a team that had one guy, Dakota Mermis, that did care and showed a lot of gumption when he fought Florian Jacki. And I'm not saying fighting is the be-all and end-all, but you got to show some intestinal fortitude, and I thought he did that. I was really disappointed with the group. And I don't know how they get their way out of this except to work hard. Now, they start this road trip that's a real funky Eastern swing, but they have no wiggle room at all. Dan, if they go 0 for this trip, they might as well just start selling and start rebuilding.
Their head coach, Craig Berube, he is sounding like a broken record. His quotes after that game against Montreal: we go out there, we don't play with any urgency or any confidence. That's regarding the second period after they went down. He's saying the same thing after every game.
I'm so disappointed in the way the defense moves a puck. And I know Chris Tanev's not playing. I get it. But they should be moving the puck better than they are. Last year, the Leafs, I shouldn't say we, the Leafs didn't have that problem. They didn't spend a lot of time in their own zone last year. They got the puck, they defended well, they moved the puck. They finished first in the Atlantic, Dan. Like, think about it for a second. They finished first in the Atlantic. It wasn't like they were a bad team last year. So they wanted to make a couple little wrinkle changes to their team. I get it. But I'm watching that team the other night. Tell me when you see a defenseman move the puck tape to tape. And I know people are going to say, oh, McGuire, Oliver Ekman-Larsson's on this unbelievable, consistent point streak. That's not about moving the puck. You know, Morgan Riley's one of my favorite players in the league. I remember when the kid was drafted out of Moose Jaw in the first round, and it just his enthusiasm and his passion, it came right through when you talk to him. And I'm watching him going, okay, he's had a good start to the year, but his puck movement should be an important thing. It's not there. It stalls a whole attack for this team. It's a number one thing that's haunting this team right now. Their inability to move the puck out of their own zone, Dan. It's tough to watch.
And they're having to do all this and try to figure it out with that Auston Matthews, who's missed 5 straight games. Berube says he's getting closer to a return. But this is another situation in which you can't rely on one guy to come back and save the day.
Tell me one team in the league that could afford to lose their 3 top offensive players: Matthew Nyes, Auston Matthews, and Mitchell Marner. Because basically that you lost the whole line. So let's just do this. Let's play this game. If you want to take away Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, how would the Edmonton Oilers be? And they're really struggling. But how would they be without those 3 guys? They'd be a mess. So, you know, you can go around the league and play that game, but usually it's 2 guys. In Toronto, it's 3. And I think Willie Nylander's had some spots this year where he's been really good, and I think there have been other spots where Willie Nylander hasn't been nearly good enough. And he needs to look in the mirror and start being good enough every single game.
At this point, what does Craig Berube have to do? Because he has now had a solid year and a bit with this team. He knows its tendencies. He knows they continue to repeat the same problems. With a veteran coach like that, what is his next step?
So it's a sit down. It's almost an intervention. And I've been through this before. Usually the general manager and the head coach, and hopefully they'll include the assistant coaches and some of their more intelligent professional scouts. What do we do well? What don't we do well? And how are we going to address it? What's available on the market right now that can address some of our organizational weaknesses? What's out there that's overpriced that we don't want to get involved with? So there are all these different things, Dan, that you can do. But until you have the intervention talk with the GM and your pro scouts and hopefully your assistants that have to coach some of these players, it's never going to get fixed. And I know in hockey a lot of people are very protective of their turf. With Keith Pelley being there, nobody needs to be protective of their turf. They don't. You know, you work for Keith, I work for Keith. As far as my experience goes, he's an inclusive guy. He wants to hear everything. He doesn't want any sugarcoat, and I'm telling you right now, like I did a lot of big meetings with him over the course of my career. He's an inclusive guy. He doesn't mind people saying, you know what, you're doing that wrong. He doesn't mind that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where they are as an organization right now. I really believe that.
Before I got a job at a sports network and Keith was the head of it, I walked in and they said, hey, he just wants to say hi and, he just wants to talk to you for a second. So I went in, talked to him for 5 minutes, and I come out and one of our other old bosses, Mark Millier, says, did you tell him you grew up on a farm? I'm like, yeah, that came up. He goes, good, he'll like that.
Well, I'm a big fan of Pelley, and I think Keith will do a great job getting this straightened out. But clearly, they overrated some of their acquisitions this summer, and I'm part of that because I overrated some of them, and so I'm going to say it right now. I'm as faulty as the next guy, but I saw this coming about 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, whoa, this is a problem, and they're going to have to adjust. And that's part of the beauty of being a hockey decision maker like Brad Treliving is. You have an eraser, and you can sometimes erase some of your mistakes if you're creative enough, you're inclusive enough, and you have smart enough people around you. And hopefully the Leafs have that.
It's I'm still scratching my head that we're here at the past the midpoint of November, and the Toronto Maple Leafs are last in the Eastern Conference. I don't remember ever saying those words in the last 10 years. No, it's unknown territory.
Yeah, it's way unknown territory, and especially when you look at the start that Buffalo had. You know what I mean? Buffalo had a bad start. Or you look at the start of the New York Rangers, and you look at the start of the New York Islanders, and you look at the start of the Philadelphia Flyers, and you're saying, all these teams are playing pretty well, except for the Rangers right now. They're in trouble. Talking about Toronto, they're in trouble. Most people thought the Pittsburgh Penguins would be dead last in the Eastern Conference, and maybe they will be before the end of the year. But right now they're playing with vim, vigor, and vitality, Dan. They're playing hard. They're a hard out, Pittsburgh. I know they had a tough game on Friday night against Minnesota. Minnesota's bopping everybody right now because Jesper Wallstedt's so darn good in goal. But if you look at Pittsburgh and the way they're playing, they're a tough out. Detroit's a tough out. Go look at their division. Tampa's a tough out. Florida's starting to get bodies back right now. You know, they're digging themselves a huge hole to get out of, Toronto, a huge hole.
You mentioned the wacky Eastern trip that the Leafs are about to go on. They go to Columbus, Washington, Pittsburgh, Florida, and Carolina.
Yep.
So it's a 6-game, or what is that, a 5-game trip?
Well, 6 counting Montreal. You count Montreal.
Yeah, you count Montreal on Saturday. Maybe this is the best thing that could have happened to the team. It's a bonding session. Boys, let's figure it out on the road.
Montreal Canadiens, ironically, did that last year. If you remember, they were almost in last place, and they went to Florida. They went to Tampa. They went to Chicago. They went to Colorado. They went to Vegas. They went on this unbelievable run. Jakub Dobeš, the goalie, was a big part of it, who the Leafs saw on Saturday night. They went on this amazing run, and they made themselves a playoff team. And it's to your point, which I thought was eloquently done by you. The truth is, Dan, this is what they have to do. They got to be swinging the bat in the same direction, every single one of those guys. And if anybody deviates, Dan, this will not be a good road trip. They will be in trouble, and when they come back, they'll probably be buried if they don't wake up and start playing as a group.
Wow, so we have a road trip in November that's a make-or-break road trip for the rest of the season.
I believe that, based on the way the team is playing, 100%. They're pedestrian at best, Dan. They're not moving the puck well. Their special teams are haphazard. You can't say the power play's elite like it was when Marner was here. Without Matthews and Nyes, it's tough. Who's the one player you can salute all the time for the Toronto Maple Leafs? Game in and game out, John Tavares. Well, every team in the league watches videotape, Dan. They're going to, when Auston Matthews is there, John gets more room. When Auston Matthews isn't there, people start to say, circle 91, because if he doesn't score and he's not making plays, they can't win. And that's where you're going to go next. And I've been through it enough as a coach in the league. That's what you do. It's draconian, it's mean-spirited, it's nasty, and it creates a mess. It creates a mess for the team that only has one dominant center. And that's what Toronto has right now, one dominant center.
Okay, Pierre, time for 1 degree of Pierre McGuire. We turn around, point to a card. You tell us your connection to that player. Let's go right here. Sean Antosky.
Tough guy, North Bay. Watched him play a ton when he was a junior player. He was a real good Brian Burke, Pat Quinn kind of a player. Big guy who could skate up and down the wing, pulverize people at the point of attack. I enjoyed watching him play junior. I didn't like coaching against him in the NHL. Very useful player for his time in the league.
That is a very iconic. That's him in the old Canucks jersey getting drafted. He's got the buzz cut on. He looks like Macaulay Culkin's brother in Home Alone in that picture.
Buzz. Wasn't that his name was Buzz?
Pierre, thanks for this, buddy. Enjoy the rest of your trip.
Thank you so much, Dan. Appreciate it. See you on Wednesday.
Thanks for watching Toronto Sports Rush on the Bet Rivers Network.